And you have had being fortunate to meet a doctor who really is on top of this scientifically. And can you share your experience and what he had to warn us about?
The doctor is Dr. Joe Eble, E-B-L-E, a doctor in Oklahoma, and he's written extensively about this issue. Mm-hmm. And I would encourage the faithful Catholics that are listening to just look more deeply into it. I think it's one of those things that we, unless you're directly encountering an issue, we don't really pay that much attention. But Dr. Eble really argues that brain death is not well-founded scientifically. And certainly the moral issues that come along with it, I think we need to pay very clear attention to, because certainly, as you said, and I think it gets mixed, because certainly if you have died, and there is an opportunity there are various organs or tissues that can be donated after death to help people. I think the eyes are some of those, and there are many different possibilities. And we could say, we're called to generously love and serve one another, and so in that spirit, to give something from your body that can assist someone, that's a virtuous thing to do. Yeah. But only after death.
Exactly.
And that's where the whole idea of brain death, hopefully, I don't see it being addressed really. For one thing, like so many issues, whether it's the abortion issue or euthanasia, you can always, it's like, show me the money.
Yeah.
Money gets woven into it. They're not initially financial issues, but they become corrupted when big money gets involved.
That's right.
The same thing with drugs that are, so many things are affected by money.
Yep.
And I think that that's the case with brain death and organ donation. So, and really, Dr. Joe Eble is a good, strong Catholic man, has a beautiful family, and he's very, soft-spoken, but he's very smart and has researched this. And I would encourage people to at least start asking the questions. And really, he advises, and I share the advice, don't put it on your driver's license that you're an organ donor.
Oh, no.
Because you don't know the moral, ethical position of those who may find themselves making decisions about you. And we all have an obligation. Suicide is wrong. Euthanasia is wrong. Assisted suicide is wrong. And so to willingly allow someone to begin to harvest organs from our bodies when we're not dead, that's not something that we can sign off on and say, well, if I'm in that shape, they can go ahead and take my organs. We don't have the right to say that. If we're still alive, we have to guard our lives the lives of others as sacred. So I guess the simplest way to talk about it as a non-scientist, I can't get clinical about it, but I think if people are not sure, then to just make it clear in your will or however you can to probably most importantly, to your loved ones.
Yes.
To your survivors that, no, I don't want my body used for live organ donation because that means I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And if you're dead, that's another thing. To donate corneas and things like that.
Can you tell us the story that you told me off the air about a story of a brother his brother was very, very sick and so to speak, some people say he was brain dead. But tell us the story because I think it articulates what you're saying.
Yeah, Dr. Ebley, I'm sure you can find him on the internet, and he shared this video in the presentation that I saw where, the typical situation, this, I forget what was the physical issue that had caused this young man to be in a bed, declared brain dead.
Yeah.
And the doctors are literally discussing in his room, discussing the harvesting his organs. Thankfully, he had a brother who loved him and knew Catholic morality well enough and said, no way are you doing this to my brother.
Good.
By a miracle or in God's providential plan. Anyway, this young man that was in the bed being declared brain dead with doctors discussing harvesting his organs, he woke up.
Wow.
And he's on the video saying he heard them discussing how they were going to harvest his organs. So he was clearly still alive.
That's incredible.
Even though the doctor said, oh, he's brain dead. He wasn't brain dead. He wasn't dead at all.
Yeah.
And he's there on the video saying he could hear them. And so his brother really is heroic for standing for his brother's life when the medical system was ready to declare him dead.
Incredible.
And make money sharing his organs with others. So I think that's a great example. And the bottom line of all of it, Terry,
tell me.
Once again, when it even appears that we're playing God and usurping God's authority as the Lord of life, as the author of life.
Yes.
That's what happens in abortion.
Yeah.
That's what happens in too many circumstances.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening there. If we're deciding this person's dead when God hasn't decided that at all.
That's right.
We better be very careful if we see signs that we're playing God when it comes to the sanctity of life.
That story we'll never forget. Thank you for sharing that. Also, I want to mention Bishop Strickland will be in California in March of next year for the Spiritual Warfare Conference with Jesse Romero. And we have a priest who's an exorcist coming. And you can just look on our website if you want to register. We'd sure appreciate it. Go to vmpr.org.